Hi folks, got some great soap here today. This one here is TFS. Not sure exactly how to pronounce all of it, um, so I'll let you get a good laugh out of all that. This particular container started out with 8.4 ounces, and also I should mention that the lids will look very similar, the labels will, but they are different. In other words, there's two different scents on this one here. Um, I've got it listed which one mine is, and mine came with an inner lid, and soap looks like that. Smells wonderful. Definitely wife approved. I ran this back by her again. I've had this one here for a moment, but this aftershave is really nice. They did a great job on this one here. One of the things I point out on TFS on their labeling, one of the things I appreciate is it gives you like a scent profile here, which to me helps folks that are, how can you say, challenged with the scents. At least I know I am. I've got it whipped up here in my smooth bottom thrift store fine bowl, and with a RazoRock brush here, and it is wet, pretty drippy, and there's quite a bit. I whipped up a lot. I had too much fun working with this lather. Also, since this is an Italian soap, you can expect that it's going to be a Italian type, old-fashioned type base, if you will. And I have a link down below for both of these soaps, but I think the website is Dutch. I think I could be wrong. Anyhow, so in other words, the price is in euros, if I'm not mistaken. So you can get both of these, which both of them are 8.4 ounces. So that's 16.8 ounces, or what is milliliters? 250 milliliters. So that's 500 total for 27.50 euros. So whatever that figures out in the way of dollars and American dollars. But anyway. In other words, you'll have a hard time finding it, but I did find it at that particular website in stock, both of them, both flavors, if you will. So if you're interested in getting it, in other words, it's going to be really hard to find, as goes for the aftershave. It's just good luck with finding it, because I wasn't having much luck finding it, especially anywhere where it would actually be able to ship here stateside. And but anyhow, this as it goes for the scent, there it is right there on the label on the aftershave, if you wonder where I got what one do I have, and plus it's on the back side on the label for this one here, right about there. It's just great soap. It's one of the first ones I bought, and just really happy to have them. A shaver I'm using in the razor today, I'm using Gillette Silver Blue, and this is I think it's pronounced Piccolo. I'm not real sure. Anyhow, it's a fat tip or a foot tip. Mine has a little stamp right there on the bottom of the base plate, and this is gold colored. This is the open comb slant. I first saw this quite some time ago, and you know how COVID took place, and I'm kind of thinking that a lot of the supply got messed up and whatnot. But anyhow, eventually everything lined up, and I found one of these that I was looking for. In other words, a gold one, slant, open comb, and went ahead and bought it. I'm going to give it a spin. Open comb slant should be an interesting shave. I saw, like I say, I saw this quite some time ago, but it really interests me. Slants are, of course, are always interesting, but then a tip that's open comb slant. And I'm thinking maybe depends, I'm not sure. Maybe one day I might get one with the safety bar. I haven't decided just yet. May depend on if my interest ever peaks with the safety bar. This one here, in other words, just might satisfy my curiosity. But anyway, it's been a long time coming for this one here. Sometimes, something will pique my interest, and it may be a year or so before I actually get around to getting it. In this particular case, it seemed like when I was really interested in it, nobody here, I guess you might say stateside, had it for sale, at least in any websites that I normally go to, and then some that I don't normally go to. But eventually Maggard's end up with it, so I've got a link down below. But it's a good looking shaver. Decided to go with gold. I don't have a whole lot. I'm starting to, I guess you might say, build up in that color. Getting more and more razors that are golden color at least. And it's a good looking shaver. It's a little drippy, so I'm trying not to get it everywhere. I say I did whip it up on the wet side, because typically what ends up happening is after it sits a moment, it'll thicken up. And then once I start to work it in with the pre-shave on my face, everything starts to get a little thick. That is something that I've noticed, especially it's more, how you say, prevalent with a straight razor shave or a shavette shave, is working with the pre-shave and your soap, still kind of sort of working, getting that lather just the way you want it. It is something that sometimes can be kind of a challenge. I got a lot of soap in there. I got whipped up pretty good. And it took the hard water rather well. I wish, yeah, if I can find the scent profile, I'll go ahead and include it. I think it's out there somewhere. I may have it on a previous post from days gone by. I'll see if I can't hunt it down and put the list of the scent profile down below, but it is a really nice scent. I would almost say that if you're a person that likes cologne type scents, this one here just might fit that bill. Should mention also, just a very slight overhang on each side of the razor here. So if you're one of those that shave underneath your nose, that's another story. Anyway, it's just a slight overhang. I don't think it's anything critical. We've been having fun in our house. We been watching a lot of British type shows, and of course my nose is going to start itching. We've been watching several British type shows, so sometimes, you know, we notice from I guess you might say from show to show, depending on which one you're watching, the accents are how they could be just a little bit different. And so we we have fun, you know, trying to pick up on that accent, try to speak it. Sometimes my wife laughs because she thinks I speak that language better than I do just our American English here, which is probably true. Yes, it's quite a challenge sometimes speaking English. Using double negatives always gets my wife going. She's our, I guess you might say, resident English major. I have a tendency just to use what's, how you can say, what comes easy. In other words, the broken English. So far, this is going pretty well. The blade feel is there. I don't think it's over aggressive. In other words, you know, just a huge, you know, blade feel where a lot of folks would be, you know, not too terribly happy with the shave feel. It feels pretty decent. In other words, with a slant and an open comb, you kind of think maybe more on the aggressive side. I wouldn't say that it's aggressive. The blade feel is there, just not over the top. There we go. I knew this shave was going to be a lot of fun anyway with this soap and with this razor. Have too much fun with the lather and with this razor. Being an open comb slant, it is such a... they did a good job on the fit and finish. Popped the blade in, snugged it up. In other words, no trouble with the alignment. Sometimes with 3 pieces, that is an issue. I just want some more lather. Like I say, I'm getting it everywhere. I have noticed though, when they do show it, which is not all that often in a show, the what they shave with, and of the ones that I have seen, they end up they lean more towards the traditional way of shaving. So I thought that was pretty cool. For us, we get it, watch them, through the BBC, BritBox, Acorn. That's, I think, our usual stopping places to pick up shows like that. We have some series that we've watched in a while. We've watched, all the way through, as much as least that we could find of the series. My wife enjoys watching them. The humor is different. Matter of fact, the humor fits more her style. Matter of fact, one of the shows we're watching now, detective type show, one of the ladies on there, one of the detectives, is a lot more like her personality, which, thought that was kind of funny. Shave's going pretty good. Across the grain. I still have, that would be the second pass. I got just a little bit underneath my chin right down here. Outside that, everything else is already pretty smooth. Blade's working pretty well. I was going to go with my typical Persona blade, just one of the ones that I've got. Persona usually works quite well for me, whatever shaver I plan on using. And changed my mind last minute and decided to go with a Gillette Silver Blue. Saw the pack sitting there, so yeah, I'll give them a try. Which Silver Blue does a good job for me. I can't complain. I enjoy using them. They're starting to fit more along the lines of my Persona, that, in other words, just about whatever shaver I use them in, they seem to work well. Starting to find them more and more at a decent price point. So, in other words, instead of buying a single pack here or there, buy them by the 100, and now I've got a couple of 100 of them. In other words, planning for the zombie apocalypse, for that day where things go south and you can't find any more blades. Sometimes I wonder if it's coming sooner rather than later. Down the news, they were talking about shipping issues and costs going up and all that sort of thing. Of course, shipping issues, we're already pretty well familiar with that. It seemed like most of your goods that you're having shipped to the house rarely shows up on the time that they said that it's going to. So, in other words, that's not surprising. But I ordered some Gillette Wilkinson sword blades. Came by the way of India. Got 100 and what was it? 110 blades. $6.99 shipped, which is, that's a great price. Ordered them off of eBay, and it comes in 2 boxes. In other words, 50 plus the extra pack in each box, as opposed to a box of like 100. You get 250s plus the extra pack of blades in there. Very nice shave. That is one thing that is nice about having your lather whipped up so light. The slickness is just, it's just off the chart. I enjoy using this kind of soap. It works well for me. I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, in other words, but because they don't particularly care for the soap base. It's not necessarily always the scent as opposed to the soap base. And for me, this soap base works well for me. It reminds me of Tcheon in some ways, which I enjoy that soap too. If you haven't seen that video, face feels really nice. Sometimes I get kind of caught up on how the post shave feel, and it's really nice. It's I guess you might say a little surprising considering how much the soap is. In other words, back when I purchased it, which I'd have to go back and look. I know when I got it as a set, and the price, of course, would have been reasonable at that point in time when I got this. Otherwise, I would have picked it up. And but you get 8.4 ounces, 250 milliliters if that works better for you. And the two of them, like I say, $27.50 on the euros. Just keep it simple for $1, so you divide that in half. That's a pretty good buy. At least in my opinion, 8.4 ounces. In other words, you won't find very many other soap makers selling their soaps, over 8 ounces at that price. Once you start breaking it down per ounce, how much that is. These feels wonderful. You got some witch hazel here. I went ahead and decided to throw some, this got cucumber in it, which is kind of nice. It does have just a very slight cooling effect. And went ahead and threw some peppermint in there. Peppermint's great. I know peppermint, it's kind of maybe an acquired taste. It's kind of like wintergreen. My wife doesn't like wintergreen. She doesn't like it at all. She despises it. If you're wondering, it has a plastic restrictor. That's what it looks like there. Make sure I get a fair amount in there. Man, it smells good. Like I say, if I can find the scent profile, a list of the various scents, I'll go ahead and include that in the description down below. There's not a whole lot in the way of English on the scent profile. I can say it looks like there's Patchouli, Vetiver, and that will be the middle notes. I couldn't tell you what the top notes are. Can't make that out. Sometimes I can translate, sometimes not so much. I had a great shave, a lot of fun shaving. That's how it should be, right? Hope everybody's doing well. Stay safe, stay healthy, and smooth shaves to you.